Howdy, and welcome to the Mighty Muddy Chuck channel. I'm Chuck. I was doing this and OBS went just weird. I wasn't on the OBS screen, so I didn't realize what was happening. I was looking at the browser, while I was checking the different news out, and I went back to the OBS, and it was like just a white screen thing, and then I tried to stop it, and stop recording first, obviously, and it wouldn't stop recording the thing, and so it left an open file. So then I had to get rid of an open file. I finally had to reboot the computer to get it straightened out, and hopefully it didn't corrupt the hard drive or anything. Just weird crap every which way I turn. So here in Georgia, in the town of Covington, where they filmed In the Heat of the Night, Dukes of Hazzard, the Vampire Diaries, on the square there. Zombieland. I'm not sure whether it was just filmed in the outer areas or whether it was also filmed in Covington also. It's filmed in lots of different areas. I remember back Zombieland was filming in the area where I am. My father and I, we happened on a movie set they'd set up, and we thought they'd opened a new store, It was a movie set. It'd have been a cool store, though. It would have been. So, yeah, I tried to shop at that store in Zombieland, the store that they tore to pieces in that movie. I wanted to shop there, man. Oh, man. But Covington, that's awful. That's awful. Back a long time ago, not recently. This goes back a ways. My father and I were considering renting a storefront in Covington. We decided against it after all was said and done. But the store that we was looking at had the safe that was used in the Dukes of Hazzard, Boss Hogg safe. It was in that particular store for some reason. I don't know why. But once we started doing the numbers, we didn't think we could make it there. So it's a hard to do business. It's hard to do business no matter what kind of business you're doing. It's hard. Life is hard. Somebody say, well, God never promised your life be easy. Yeah, well. If he's testing my metal's rusty because I'm old, I'm done beyond that age where he needs to be testing my metal. My metal done got rusty, honey child. My metal done got rusty. But life's hard. And I'm afraid for me it's going to get harder, I'm not going to go into all the details of what's going wrong, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's stuff that's shouldn't be that important. It's just it's hitting me at a time when I'm already, in a bad place, and it's just like piling on. I don't want to go into too much details, and you don't want to hear it anyway, obviously. So, but yeah, let me pull up the article on this Covington. They don't know exactly what caused the fire, is my understanding. A fire that claimed 4 businesses on Covington's iconic square damaged several more and left others without power. It was fully extinguished Saturday after firefighters worked more than 18 hours to control the blaze and make sure it didn't reignite. I read something like that. This is the kind of stuff I used to talk to my father about. I would be right now. I'd be going to tell him this. Oh, did you hear this happened? I can't do that now. It sucks. He was my friend, my best friend. Workers from the city and other agencies spent Saturday clearing debris from the streets. Several streets were closed and remained accessible to traffic Sunday. City officials said streets would likely remain closed Monday. In other words, they're still closed today. The blaze was first reported Friday evening as spectators enjoyed a film on downtown square. The cause of the blaze was undetermined as of press time. They're still working on it, in other words. Hardest hit by the fire was Shelby Jean Boutique, New Shoes, spelled with a Z at the end, and the Dude Store. Oh, yeah, the Dude Store. and Sheer Bliss Hair and Beauty. Um, and there was other businesses that were impacted. So Monticello Street is closed from Washington Street to Reynolds Street. Businesses on the west side of Monticello Street in this block are without power. Reynolds Street is closed from Monticello Street to Hendrick Street. Hendrick Street is closed from Reynolds Street and Washington Street. Businesses on the east side of Hendrick Street and the block are without power. Washington Street is closed at Hendrick Street, making the square by Washington Street and Monticello inaccessible. That's sad. My uncle worked at one of the furniture stores in downtown Covington for, in later years, for a large part. I mean, for a long time. He had other jobs earlier, including, he was in the war. But, and they lived fairly close to the Covington in the Square. And my grandmother and granddaddy, they lived out in the country, but we'd go into town to Covington. That was big trip into town, go to the feed store, the beauty store, the do different stuff around. Back in those days, Covington was actually probably more bustling. Today they bustle with car traffic trying to get around the square and all that stuff. But back in the old days, there was a lot of people on foot, walking around. It was almost like an amusement park, the number of people walking around. And people would dress up to go downtown. One of my memories is when my mother was in the hospital. I was young, and I had a sprained ankle at the time, and I was going in to it might have been McQuarrie's, or it was some dime store in the town. I'm not sure which. Probably McQuarrie's, but I'm not sure. And I bought this little plastic flowers from my mother, and I think I was like 2 cents short. I didn't have quite enough money. I had a sprained ankle, so I was hopping. My mother was really in a bad situation, so of course everybody was, I wasn't the focus, which is fine. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here, because no, my mother was a priority for me too, obviously. But anyway, I had a sprained ankle, and I was hopping. That's the way I was getting around. I had to hop because it was. When I put weight on that, but it hurt on that ankle. It hurt bad, and so I hopped in to get the flowers. I went to pay for it, and I was short, I think 2 cents or something like that. I don't remember. It might have been a dime. I don't remember. It wasn't a large amount of money. And she said, okay, I told her, I'm going to bring you the money back. And so I hopped out to the car. I got the whatever the amount was from my granddad, and I hopped back in the store, and I gave it to her. And she's like, you didn't have to do that. And I said, yeah, reputation's important. Back in those days, even when you were little, you considered your reputation important. Now, I don't know. I was actually considering. I was considering. I'm not going to go into that. But, anyways, yeah, that's local news. It's bad though. This world's changing. It's changing. And I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like change. Anyway, much thanks for watching, listening. I do appreciate it. Thank you.